Okay. So if we see, so yesterday we have completed the chapter number 4. Okay. So fourth chapter, that is related to employee, consumers and business ethics. So in chapter number 4, we have, in the first part, we have seen all the points related to the consumer. In first part, we have seen all the details related to the employees, and in another part, we have seen the details related to the consumer. Okay, so all the points, if we have to summarize, employees, why they are important stakeholder, that we have seen. Then what are the ethical issues in firm employee relation, that point we have covered. Then what are the ethical challenges in globalization, that we have seen under this employee part. Corporate citizens and employee relation towards sustainable employment, that has been also covered. Then in the second part, we have seen the points related to the consumers. So why the consumers are important stakeholders? What are the ethical issues in the marketing? What are the ethical issues in the globalization? Then we have seen the concept of corporate citizenship and sustainable consumption. Okay, so all that points we have seen, and this point I have asked you to prepare. Okay, so model of organization. So for that, just some guidelines I will give, and then we will discuss the MCQs for this particular point. So the point, it is model of organization. Okay, so basic just definition I want to show. So model of organization means what? Because some students, they have asked me some questions related to this topic. See, there is one important model which is called as the model of organizational behavior. Okay, so that is the sub point under this. Okay, आपण जर बघितला ह्या पॉइंटचं टायटल, model of organization. So model of organization is the main concept, whereas this model of organizational behavior, that can be considered as subpart of that particular thing. Okay, the model of organization चा एक type म्हणून आपण model of organizational behavior that we can consider. Okay, so is it clear? जसे वेगवेगळे सबटाइप्स असतील मॉडेलचे, तसे त्यातला एक सबटाइप आहे मॉडेल ऑफ ऑर्गनायझेशनल बिहेवियर. Okay, so little more points you can search, and you can give that explanation by your own. After that, we will have discussion on that, and then we can summarize that particular point. Okay, so now we will discuss this MCQs based on chapter number 4, and then we will start with the chapter number 5. Okay, so just a minute. So for the previous chapters, I have not discussed that MCQs for previous chapter, because that some time constraint was there. But as now time will permit us, so we will just quickly go through the MCQs from this chapter number 4, and then we will see the chapter number 5. Okay, so my screen is visible to everyone. Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
So in the dash in the business context occurs when employees receive preferential treatment on grounds that they are not directly related to their qualification and performance in the job. Okay, so this point is related to the डिस्क्रिमिनेशन. डिस्क्रिमिनेशन आपण एम्प्लॉईच्या राईट, पहिले जे हे क्वेश्चन्स आहेत सगळे ते एम्प्लॉईच्या राईट्स रिलेटेड आहेत. सो वी हॅव सीन दॅट टेबल in which on right side, left side the rights were mentioned, and on right side the issues involved in under that particular right that was mentioned. Okay, so discrimination occurs when employee receive the preferential treatment, not based on qualification and not based on their performance. So that is called as discrimination. Second question is related to the due process and layoff. So dash the application of rules and procedures to people in a consistent and avoiding arbitrarily decision making and without discrimination on basis other than merit. Okay, so that point is related to the another right, due process and layoff. Okay, then the third question is the claim that employees should also have a certain degree influence on their task, their job, environmental and their company goals. That is right to participation. Okay, so if you see these PPTs, I will just show you that table so that you will get idea. आपण एक टेबल बघितला होता जिथे ह्या लेफ्ट साइडला सगळे राईट मेन्शन केलेले आहेत. मीन्स व्हॉट आर देअर राईट्स, त्यांचे काय अधिकार आहेत आणि त्याच्याशी रिलेटेड कुठले इश्यूज इन्व्हॉल्ड आहेत. मग हा जो पॉइंट आहे या प्रत्येक पॉइंटचं इथं डिस्क्रिप्शन आहे पुढच्या स्लाइड मध्ये. सो दिस स्लाइड इज रिलेटेड टू डिस्क्रिमिनेशन. देन दिस इज रिलेटेड टू एम्प्लॉय प्रायव्हसी. दिस वन इज रिलेटेड टू द हेल्थ अँड सो दॅट इज प्रायव्हसीचाच पार्ट आहे तो. देन एम्प्लॉय परफॉर्मन्स, level of performance, due process and layoff, right to know, then the employee participation and association, financial participation, employ people worldwide. So that globalization point is starting from this particular slide. ह्याच्यामधल्या ज्या स्लाइड आहेत सगळ्या, so there that points are particularly mentioned. So these MCQs are related to the rights of the employees. Okay, so this third question's answer is right to participation. Then fourth point is dash allows employees a share in the ownership or income of the corporation. Some recent initiatives predicted on remuneration employees with shares or share options have tried to work into the particular direction. So this is the financial participation. Okay, then which theory? So dash suggests represented idea, that is that if an ethical principle were to be considered valid, it has to be applied somewhere. Okay, so that is considered as the absolutism. Okay, so all these are the MCQs. Absolutism theory, then relativism theory. So when absolutism म्हणजे काय, that concept is applicable everywhere. So though the place is changed, though the circumstances are changed, still the theory it is considered true. That is called as the absolutism. आणि relativism मध्ये काय की that is considered right if it is having some relevance. Okay, that is the concept of relativism. Then next is globalization. The globalization have contended that among the key factors in the competition for investment are the costs incurred by the MCQ through environmental regulation, taxes and social welfare. So this is related to the point raised to the bottom, ज्याच्यामध्ये to reduce the cost or because of the competition some taxes are reduced, or some governmental parameters are reduced by the businessman. That is called as the race of or the race to the bottom. Okay, so next question is related here to sustainable development. बघा, the protection of wages and conditions for workers may have to sacrifice to encourage sustainable economic development and maintain the employment. So this point is coming under towards the sustainable employment. Then next, this is related to the consumer right. So like that, whatever are the MCQs here, so all that are having their answers included in the PPT. Okay, so you can just go through that. So already this sheet has been shared. Okay, so 20 MCQs are there. You go through that. If any doubt, you can ask. Okay, so that chapter number 4, it is clear to everyone? Yes, please give some answer. If any doubt is there in any particular point, then you can tell. Yes. Whether the points are clear from chapter number 4? Yes, please give the answers. Yes. Okay. Vaishali, is it clear? Chapter number 4. Yes. Are you there in the meeting, Vaishali? Yes, Ashwini. Chapter number 4 is clear. So we will start with chapter number 5. So now actually chapter 5 is covered. Most of the points are covered by in the guest lecture, but still we will consider that points as a revision. We will have discussion on that particular points. Okay, so we will see that. So chapter number 5 is related to the civil society and environment. Okay, so just a minute. Civil society and environment. Okay, so here we have to divide, or we can divide this chapter into 2 parts. In first part, we can consider the civil society, and in second part, we can consider the environmental parameters related to the business. Okay, so we can divide this chapter into 2 parts. So we will see that civil society and environment. Okay, so these are the PPTs for this chapter number 5. Okay, but as that points are covered in the guest lecture, so this you can just use as a reference or additional points. This PPT you can use, but for revising that particular points, we will use the PPTs whatever have been used by madam for the covering of that particular points. Okay, so these PPTs madam has explained to you. Okay, so based on this, and again, if we are taking some another reference for teaching, that may create some confusion. So here I will use these PPTs only for revising that point. And whatever are the PPTs which I have uploaded in study material, that you can also use as a reference. So both the PPTs are available in the study material. You can check with that. Okay, so now this chapter number 5 we will start, that is civil society and environment. So as I told you that this chapter we can divide into 2 parts. First part, it is related to the civil society, and second part we can consider related to the environment and what are the environmental aspects. Okay, so first part it is, so initially we have seen business ethics means what? It is the discipline concerned with what is morally good and bad, and what is morally right and wrong values and principles. So that is the business ethics. Now, as we say that first part we have to see civil society means what, and in second part we will consider about the environmental aspect. So first we will see this CSO concept, or that is also called as civil society in short, or civil society organization. Okay, so civil society means what? So a civil society is comprised of groups or organizations working in the interest of citizens but operating outside of the government and for profit sector. Okay, so civil society, that is group of organization, group of some organizations, they are coming together and they are working in the interest of the citizens, but they are not governmental body or they are not private companies also, means in between the government and the private, that particular members are working. So they are coming together, they are working together for welfare of the society. That is the meaning of the civil society. Okay, so first understand that definition. It is group or organizations working in the interest of citizens, but they are operating outside the government and for profit sector. Either they are not in private or they are not government. So in between that, they are working together for betterment of the society. That is the concept of civil society organization. Then organizations and institutions that make up civil society include labor unions, non-profit organizations, churches, and other service agencies that provide an important service to the society, but generally ask for very little in return. Okay, you just see this definition. Understand the concept. Okay, so that is the meaning of civil society organization. Now the next point is, what are the functions of the civil society and how they are helpful for peace building. म्हणजे ते एकत्र येऊन समाज for the society welfare they are working together and they are not working for profit making, but in return they are asking for very little amount, or they are expecting somewhat little things in return for their work. So what are the functions of the civil society? So first is protection, then monitoring, then advocacy and public communication, social cohesion, intermediation and facilitation, and service delivery. So these are the functions of the civil society in peace building. Okay, so when we will see its actual working, you will understand these points one by one. So how they are helpful for protection, monitoring, then advocacy and public communication. Then with the various types of civil society group, if we consider, for example, that is civil society refers to a wide array of organization, community groups, non-governmental organizations, which we usually call them as NGO, labor unions, then indigenous groups, charitable organizations, faith-based organizations, professional associations, and foundations. So these are the examples of civil society group. यातलं जर कुठलंही तुम्ही बघितलं की जे आता कम्युनिटी ग्रुप्स असतात किंवा NGO जे असतात, so what is their work? Can anyone tell? What is the work of this NGO, non-governmental organizations? You might have heard this word. So what is the basic function of NGO? Labor unions. Okay, labor union we will consider later on. NGO तर सगळ्यांनी ऐकलेले आपल्यापैकी. So what is the basic function of NGO? Can anyone tell? Yes, anybody? काय असतं एनजीओचं काम सांगा मला. For what they are working or for whom they are working? That is very general term which is used no frequently. So what is the function of NGO? Whether they are working for profit making or whether they are working for some their self benefit. So what is the function? They are basically working for human right or the society related aspect or ethical issues considered in the society. That is the function of NGO. Labor unions, they are working for giving the right to the laborers and taking care about all the rights related to the labor. Okay, charitable organizations. So they are working for betterment of the society. So these are the some of the examples of civil society groups. Okay, then next, characteristics of civil society. So what are their characteristics or for what they are working? Social change. First thing, they have to bring change in the society. That is first characteristics. Then second is social accountability. So whatever odd things are happening in the society, when they try to change that particular things, or if something unethical thing is happening in the society, if they observe that and to avoid that or to correct that, whatever steps they are taking, for that steps they are taking the responsibility. Means whatever they are doing for betterment of the society, for that they are taking the responsibility. That is nothing but accountability. So this term we have discussed so many times. Accountability म्हणजे जबाबदारी स्वीकारणे or to accepting the responsibility totally. So social accountability, that is second characteristics. Then third one is community empowerment. So empower means to make strong for in the society for unity purpose. Whatever are the communities, आता समजा आता ह्या labor unions, they are working for the laborers. So what is their function? They are empowering the which community? Labor community. Means whatever are the specific communities or whatever are the specific groups, त्यांच्या ज्या काही civil society असतील, so they are working for empowering that particular group or they are working for empowering for that particular community. Okay, so third characteristics is community empowerment. Then fourth one, it is ensuring good governance. So whatever is the things happening in the society, whether they are working properly as per the requirement or not, ensuring that that is the characteristics or that is the function of civil society. So these are the main four characteristics of civil society. So bringing the social change, accepting the social responsibility, then community empowerment, ज्यासाठी ते काम करतात, that empowerment they are doing, ensuring good governance. So these are the characteristics of civil society. Then the next point is why these civil society organizations, they are also considered as a stakeholder for the business, or why they are considered as one of the stakeholders for the business. That point we are going to discuss now. Okay, because actually जर बघितलं civil society organization, they are not actually direct part of company. आपण एखादा बिझनेस चालू केला किंवा आपण एखादा बिझनेस रन करत असू तर ह्या सिव्हिल सोसायटी ऑर्गनायझेशन दे आर नॉट वर्किंग ॲज अ डायरेक्टली part of that CSO, but why they are still considered as a stakeholders, that we have to understand. So civil society organizations as a stakeholder, in that the first point is civil society stakeholders take a number of roles in this field, and among their goals we highlight. So what are their main functions? Engaging with general public, so they are associated with the general public. Then advocating for science, public policy and politics to communicate better. That is the second point. Then advocating for science as a key element to improve the international relations. Okay, so we will see, read these points first, I will, and then we will see one by one. So advocating for science as a key element to improve international relationships. Then facilitating communication channels and exchange interfaces among researchers, politicians, and other stakeholders. Advocating for concrete specific goals of science diplomacy, that is climate change, etc. Okay, so here we will see, though it is not directly part of the company, still how it is considered as important stakeholder and in what way it is related with the public. Okay, so the first point is engaging with general public. So as they are working for welfare of the society, they are engaged with the general public or the general society. They are engaged with that particular people. Then advocating for science, public policy, and politics to communicate better. Okay, so here that advocating, that stands for referring to or standing for a particular thing. Okay, so they are advocating for science, for publicity or public policy and politics to communicate better. Okay, so that is the second way how they are related with the public. Then advocating for science as a key element to improve the international relations. So they are helping for improvement in the international relations. So that is the another way in which they are considered as the stakeholders. Then facilitating communication channels and exchange interfaces among the researchers, politicians, and other stakeholders. So simply we can say they are providing the various platforms to improve the communication between the various stakeholders or various politicians, or if some research is going on, to explore that particular research, to give platform for the research discussion. This particular civil societies are working. म्हणजे थोडक्यात सोसायटी मध्ये whatever are the various communities, to increase the communication between the communities, these stakeholders, these civil society organizations are helping. Facilitating म्हणजे काय, निर्माण करणे किंवा provide करणे. What these CSOs are facilitating? They are providing communication channels as well as they are providing exchange interfaces among the researchers. So for example, I will tell you IEEE. So that is one association which can be considered as example of civil society organization. ती एक प्रोफेशनल बॉडी आहे. IEEE चे वेगवेगळे प्रोग्राम जे असतात रिलेटेड टू रिसर्च और रिलेटेड टू सम आयडिया एक्सचेंज प्रोग्राम, मग तिथं वेगवेगळे रिसर्चर्स एकत्र येऊन they are sharing their ideas with other colleagues or with other participants who are also part of the symposium. So like that. So they are giving these CSOs are giving the platform for interchanging the idea between the researchers. Okay. So they are anyhow they are helping for increasing the communication and building the relationship. Also these are advocating for concrete specific goals of science diplomacy, that is climate change and other parameters. So in one and another way, these civil society organizations are helping to bring the various communities together, to empower the communities, as well as to give some platform which will increase the interaction between the various societal elements for the development of the society. Okay, and that's why these CSOs are also considered as the important stakeholders of the business, though they are not directly involved in the बिझनेस. डायरेक्टली जरी ते इन्व्हॉल्व नसले तरी ह्या इनडायरेक्ट पद्धतीने सपोज एखादी CSO आहे, दे आर गिव्हिंग यू सम प्लॅटफॉर्म फॉर इम्प्रूव्हिंग युअर रिलेशनशिप among some customers which are outside our country, like that. So the businessmen are definitely getting some new platforms for improving the relationship with the customers indirectly. So though there is no any direct connection, but these civil society organizations are considered as important stakeholder for the particular business. Okay, so the next point it is ethical issues in the CSO. So while these CSOs are working, then what are the ethical issues they are facing that we have to see. Okay, so these are the basic ethical issues in the CSO: trustworthiness, respect, responsibility, then this fairness, caring, and citizenship. Okay, so you just see these points. So I request all of you, what actually all these points are covered in the guest lecture. So I'm just summarizing that point. Okay, so quickly we are going to discuss that particular points which are covered in the guest lecture, and apart from that, if something is remaining, that I am going to cover, no doubt. But for this revision, you will understand these points better if you go through the video. So video related to this guest lecture, that also I have uploaded in your study material sheet. Okay, so please you go through that video so that you will understand the points which I am going to revise in this particular lecture. Okay, so we will stop here today. Just type your number in the chat box and you can leave the meeting.